Happy Friday, everybody. This is Tracey West, here to finish reading the last three chapters of Land of the Spring Dragon. And I'd like to thank everybody who has joined me so far this week. It's good to be reaching out to all of you. If you are just discovering this, you can look at videos on my author page. There's a little word videos you can click on, and you should see the previous videos where I read the other chapters of the book. Once again, I'd like to thank Scholastic for giving me permission to read this book to you. And also, I'd like to say that even though Dragon Masters is a series, and this is book 14, you can enjoy this book without having read the other books. Now, that being said, when we get to the last chapter of this book, it does send us off on a new adventure. And there's some information in that last chapter that if you did not read Eye of the Earthquake Dragon, you might be a little surprised to hear it. So, what I'm going to say is you can shut off this video after chapter 14 if you don't want a spoiler, or just keep listening, because probably it won't affect when you read the other books. But I just felt like it was fair to let everybody know, and I'll sort of pause a little bit before I read that. So far in this book, we've learned that Bracken, where the main Dragon Masters live, was hit by an earthquake, and all the plants and crops have been destroyed. Drake and his Earth Dragon Worm have gone to the land of Inishbanda to look for the Spring Dragon, who will help them bring Bracken back to life. And Drake went to the land and met the new Dragon Master Breen, who is the Spring Dragon's Dragon Master. And Breen led Drake on many challenges, and Drake passed. And he found Fallen, the Spring Dragon, and Fallen has agreed to help Bracken. And when we last left off, they have all transported back to Bracken, and we're going to see exactly how the powers of the spring I'm freezing, exactly how the powers of the Spring Dragon work. And before I start reading, again, I just want to thank the illustrator of this book, Matt Loveridge, who was working in the style of Graham Howell's. Matt's illustrations are amazing. Chapter 13 is called Green. Green, and we see that is Worm, Drake, Breen, and Fallen, the Spring Dragon. Drake, Worm, Breen, and Fallen landed in the fields of Bracken. Breen looked around at the cracked earth and withered crops. "This will be a very big job for me and Fallen," she said. Curious villagers started to gather around them. Then Drake heard a familiar voice. "Drake!" He turned to see Bo running toward him. The other Dragon Masters, Rory, Anna, and Petra, followed him, along with Griffith the wizard. But Bo was running faster than any of them. "Bo!" Drake cried. He ran up to Bo and hugged him. "It's really you!" "What do you mean?" Bo asked. "Who else would I be?" "That's a very long story," Drake said. "I'll tell you later. Right now, meet Breen and Fallen the Spring Dragon. They're going to fix Bracken for us." And there are Drake and Bo reunited. Anna gazed at Fallen with wide eyes. She turned to Breen. "Your dragon is beautiful." "Even more beautiful than I imagined," Petra said. "She is beautiful," Rory agreed. "I hope she's powerful, too." "Just you watch," Breen said. "Please stand back, everybody." Everyone made a wide circle around Breen and Fallen. Breen faced her dragon. Her dragonstone glowed. Everyone's making a wide circle around the Spring Dragon. "Fallen, please bring the crops back to these fields," she said. Beans, peas, oats, barley, wheat, potatoes, cabbages, carrots, parsnips, spinach. Breen stopped and looked at the dragon masters. Am I forgetting anything? Onions, Drake replied. Don't forget the onions. Flowers would be nice too, Anna added. Breen nodded. And onions and flowers, she told Fallen. The dragon's body began to glow with a soft yellow-green light. She closed her eyes. The light traveled through Fallen's body down to her feet and then shot into the ground. The light spread across the brown, broken earth. Fallen is sending her energy into the land, Drake realized. He looked down at his feet and saw the dragon's light glowing beneath them. He felt the earth start to move, not shake like an earthquake. The cracks in the earth closed up. Then something gently began to push up from under the ground. Here's Fallen at work. Breen twirled in a circle around her dragon. Breathless, they all watched as Fallen's glow grew brighter and brighter. Chapter 14, The Dragon Flower. Slowly, tiny green shoots sprouted up from the dirt. It's working, Drake cried. Step off the fields to make room for the plants. Everyone raced to the huts on the edge of the village. Then they watched the plants grow at amazing speed. They grew taller and taller with each second. Soon, tall stalks of young green wheat waved in one spot. In another, the bushy green leaves of spinach appeared. Drake's heart leapt at the sight of skinny green onion tops growing in neat rows. Fallen's glow slowly faded. Breen stopped spinning. The villagers stared, their mouths open at the sight of the green crops. Nobody spoke for a moment. Then Rory yelled out, Wow, that was amazing! The villagers let out a cheer. The dragon masters and Griffith ran out onto the fields. Breen was slumped up against Fallen in a circle of yellow and red flowers. The dragon's ears were drooping. What do you think? Breen asked, with a happy and proud smile on her face. I think that all those fairy tests were worth it, Drake said. You saved a whole kingdom. Thank you both. Yes, thank you, Griffith said. You are one of the most powerful dragons I have ever seen, Fallen. You must both be quite tired. Worm and I can transport you home, Drake offered. That would be very nice, Breen agreed. Her dragonstone glowed. Fallen says she was happy to help you all. Drake and Worm quickly transported Breen and Fallen back to Inishbaba. I'll miss you, Drake told Breen, even if you did trick me a lot. She grinned. Come back to Inishbaba any time, Drake. We can play hide and seek for real. Then Drake and Worm returned to the fields of bracken. Anna looked closely at the yellow and red flowers. I've never seen flowers like these before, she said. They look like dragons. Drake knelt down to get a better look. You're right, he remarked. The flower looks like a dragon's head with fire shooting out of it. Let's see. Yeah, those flowers do look like dragons. And the petals look like spikes or horns, Petra added. Fascinating, Griffith said. We should call it a dragon flower, Rory suggested. Anna nodded. That's perfect. Suddenly, they all heard the low rumble of thunder. Dark clouds appeared in the sky. A storm is coming, Petra cried. Rain will be good for the crops, Bo said. I don't think it's a storm, Drake said. Look, Rory cried. Neru, the thunder dragon, flew across the sky. What is the thunder dragon doing? We will find out in the last chapter of the book. I don't know why Neru has shown up. Well, I do, because I wrote it. But this is where I'm going to say, if you haven't read Eye of the Earthquake Dragon, you don't want any spoilers, you could end the story now, knowing that Bracken is fine and all the crops are growing again. But if you'd like to continue, I'm going to continue. Chapter 15 is called A New mission. Neru swooped down toward them. Petra's eyes widened. Is the Thunder Dragon going to attack? She asked. No, Griffith said. His dragon master is not with him. Rory gasped. I almost forgot about Eco. Eco was Griffith's first student. She had run away with her dragon, Neru, a long time ago. Years later, she tried to free King Roland's dragons. She failed and was captured, but Rory helped her escape. Rory had even stayed with Eco for a while. Neru landed next to Worm. The two dragons stared at each other for a moment. Then Drake heard Worm's voice in his head. And before I continue, I realize I'm pronouncing it should be Echo. Neru is worried about Echo, Worm said. He said she is missing. Drake turned to Griffith. Rory and I last saw Echo in Maldred's workshop. Maldred used red dust to make her disappear. We should have tried to find her or checked on Neru, Rory said, but we've been too busy trying to save Bracken. Griffith frowned. What happened? It's complicated, Drake said. Echo was trying to help Maldred get control of the Naga. I'm not surprised that she was helping a dark wizard, Bo chimed in. Echo just wanted the Naga to be free, Drake explained. And in the end, she ended up helping us, Rory interrupted. Maldred was going to feed us to the Naga. Echo tried to save us. That's when Maldred tossed magic dust on Echo and she disappeared. So if you read Eye of the Earthquake Dragon, you know that Echo really did save Rory and Drake, but then she disappeared. Griffith stroked his beard. If that is the case, then we must help her. Rory turned to Bo, Petra, and Anna. We need to save her, please, she asked. Drake and I owe her. Of course, Anna said, and Bo and Petra nodded. Then it looks like we have our next mission, Drake said. We have to find Echo. And there are the Dragon Masters, and there is Neru the Thunder Dragon, and that's how this book ends. And in book 15, which just came out, we learn exactly what happened to Echo. And so you might think it's funny that I pronounced some of the names two different ways in the books. And some of you probably know that Dragon Masters is going to be made into audiobooks. And before we did that, I went and looked up what I thought should be the correct pronunciation of all the names, because sometimes what I had in my head isn't how some names are pronounced in the real world. And even though this is a fantasy series, I want some of the names to, I think it's important for the names to match some of the real world names. So anyway, that's why I just did that. But anyway, thank you to everybody who has tuned in to these read alouds. It's been a lot of fun and I've enjoyed doing it. The videos will be up until around the end of the school year, so maybe like June 15th, I'll let you know. I am also thinking of redoing these and putting them up on YouTube again, up for this till the end of the school year. I know that's easier for some teachers to share with parents. And I also want to remind everyone that at 4 p.m. Eastern Time today, so in just a little while, I am going to be on Scholastic Home Base, and there will be a little Tracey West avatar on Home Base who will be, I'll be giving a quiz on the Middle Ages. And I wrote the quiz questions, and I'm excited to see. I know my Dragon Masters fans are all very smart, so I'm sure you will all do a great job. So I would love to see you over on Home Base. That is, it's very easy to sign up for Home Base, and it's free. And it's a digital game where you have an avatar and you get to explore the world, and there's lots of cool games you can play. And it's really a celebration of literacy. So you should check it out when you have time. So I thank you, and who has been our reading companion? There she is. My cat Katie thanks you, and she didn't really disturb us today. She's a good listener. So I guess it's time to go, and I'm sure I'll see you again. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for listening.